For the YouTube subscribers. Well, subscribe already. Hit the fucking like button and subscribe before I knock your ass out, man. I ain't fucking with you, man.
UFC is back after a week off. Not coming back with a banger. Definitely not a banger of a card. But we will definitely see how the fights go. UFC Vegas 61. Dirt versus Jan. A lower level main event. However, an important fight for both ladies to get closer to that title shot. I'll be looking at the main event and main card like usual, guys. Breaking down the fights, providing free picks, leans, and maybe what to avoid. Guys, please like the video. Please like the video. It's all I can ask for from you guys. Comment as well and share with friends. I want to get these video numbers up. I think it's well deserved. Systemsportscapping.com. Systemsportscapping.com to become a client today and receive a disciplined betting system to profit long-term on all sports. Over at my website, you'll find updated daily records, a resume, client comments over the years, and subscription opportunities. Also head over to Instagram and Twitter if you're not following me there. System Capping. You can also find the client comments there, all my winning tickets over the years as well. Weekly update. Let's get into it. And we're running hot on all sports right now. 12-2 UFC client run all fights. 2 out of 3 perfect free cards for you video viewers and clients. 65% long-term run, which what really matters, right? That's where you want to get the long-term run in. I'm usually above average, much above average in long-term runs, and that's what matters. 12-2 is nice, but it's the long-term percentage that not many people can do, and that's what I'm able to do for clients long-term. PGA, guys. PGA coming off a huge President's Cup, going 11-2 on prop bets, 9-2 on matchups through day 1 to day 4. Attacking the U.S., right? Attacking the U.S., avoiding a couple upsets besides the Thomas upset, which was the big upset. Kim over Thomas on day 4. If Thomas won that event, I would have hit an outright top combined points on him and Thomas. So, tough loss there, but it was a great, profitable card. Tons of profit in the President's Cup. Always do well on the big events, big tournaments on the PGA. Over 78 units in the prop market long-term, guys. 65% best bets long-term. NFL, very nice week and back-to-back profitable weeks in the NFL. 6-2 on bets this week, guys. 2-0 on spreads with the Bengals and Ravens. We hit our lone teaser. 2-1 in the prop market and 1-1 on total. Still early in the NFL season. Here is also last year's reminder. Currently a 9-3 run, guys. A 9-3 run in the NFL. MLB, very low volume. I only had one bet in the last few months in the regular season, and we were 1-0. We hit it this week. Blue Jays over Tampa at even money with Manoah on the mound. Easy bet for me. I'll be looking at the MLB throughout the end of the year here when teams need to win to get into the playoffs, so watch out for that. And we do have a couple futures that we bet at the beginning of the year. One already hit, which was also a free play for you guys, so hopefully you jumped on that on my website. Over 95.5 wins on the Dodgers. Could have been 96. Doesn't matter. It's in the hundreds already. We hit that. And now we got a Blue Jays over 91. Over 91.5 wins. So it's going to be close. Hopefully it gets there. They just can't go on a losing streak. NHL and NBA is around the corner, guys. Here is a reminder from last year. Let's hear from my friend Meredith before we get into this card.
Guys, Meredith Gorman here, and are you still not subscribed to Matt's channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
Shop around, guys. Shop around for the best prices. These aren't the best prices. Have multiple books, money in multiple books, accounts ready to cash out, and have betting options to get the best numbers out there. Main event, guys. Main event. Dern minus 230 versus Jan plus 190. Not a top-level main event that we're crazy excited about, but it could be a competitive fight. It's hard to get to minus 230 on Dern when she pretty much only just has one way to win, right? Get it down to the ground and submit her. Now, she's not great at getting the fights down to the ground, under 10%. Her takedown efficiency is terrible. Not good at all. So looking at that minus 230 is difficult, right? Jan has a big advantage on the feet. Big advantage. Dern, we know her striking is improving, but Jan will have an advantage there. She'll have an advantage in the strength department as well, and even wrestling. However, I don't expect her to want to wrestle with Dern, right? You put Dern in the guard, she can submit Jan. Jan's just going to try to stay on the feet and fight this fight, right? We saw Dern in her last fight against Rodriguez not too long ago. She struggled to get Rodriguez down to the ground. She got it down once, a little late in the round. Rodriguez was able to get away. That was the only time she got her down. So Dern obviously is training to get fights down to the ground. She has to, right? She knows her striking's not good enough to compete with a lot of these girls. So her training should just be wrestling, grappling, wrestling, right? Get the fight down to the ground. So if she gets down to the ground, she could easily submit Jan, yes. But you're playing with some fire there, especially at minus 230. You're hoping she gets the fight down to the ground. Difficult, right? And when you see a plus 190 on Jan, she has lost back-to-back fights. However, against top-level girls, right? The champion now, and then I think Rodriguez as well, if I recall. So, if we look at Dern here, she has some wins over Nunez, Torres in her last fight, Marcos, Janaroba, Yoder, middle pack girls. Torres obviously very difficult to fight. Dern wasn't able to finish her, but definitely won a unanimous decision there. It's gonna be a tough call for me. I'm not gonna have a bet on this fight for clients. I already decided on that. Even if I think Dern wins, like I said, if you think Dern's gonna win this fight, you gotta play the submission prop. Dern's not winning, a 5-round decision. How? I don't see it. Just because I do think she'll struggle to get Jan down to the ground. So take Dern by submission if you think she's going to win this fight. You should get it around plus money or low minus money. And then there is value there with Jan at plus 190. I wouldn't call you crazy if you put a small unit on there. Definitely a fight I can see going at least a few rounds, possibly all 5 as well. I haven't seen Jan in 5-round fights, so tough to call. This fight's not gonna get my money, not my client's money. However, it could be a good betting live opportunity for you guys. If you see Dern struggling to get the takedowns, you may want to look at Jan. But if Dern does get the takedown, you may want to jump on her quickly. That's my advice for this fight. Again, I don't love betting women's MMA fights. This is a clear example of a fight that I don't love to bet. And you don't have to bet every fight, right? So even if you ask me to lean, it would have to be Jan just because the plus money. Just because the price only. But, I do think, obviously, Dern has the big grappling advantage here. But then I can say Jan has the better striking. So, is Jan going to get taken down is your bet. That's your bet. You're betting on if Jan could keep the fight standing or if Dern could get it to the ground and submit her. Tough to call. Don't want to put my money on that. Randy Brown, minus 300 versus Trinaldo, plus 240. Trinaldo's still around at 44, guys, and he looks like he's getting better. Well, not better. He's winning fights. He's around. He's not looking like he's 44, right? But he's getting a streaky Randy Brown here on a 3-fight win streak. Brown will have a good speed advantage here. Definitely a lot younger. 8-inch reach advantage, along with a big height advantage as well. Trinaldo's in for, he's a tough vet. Right, he has some power to finish his fights, ton of experience. Actually won 5 out of his last 6 fights, guys. Not over, world beaters, but he has some good wins in there. A couple nice wins over Bobby Green was one of them. McDessie, Jai Herbert. So not bad wins there. Mid-tier guys. If Brown uses that reach and movement and speed, though, he should win this fight. He gets better and better after each fight. That's what I like to see from guys I want to bet on, right? You see some adversity in the Chaos Williams fight. That was a big win. Chaos Williams, very dangerous guy. Williams hurt his leg, leg. He found a way to still win that fight. Close fight, but Brown did enough. So I like what I see from Brown. I like to see him improving. I do think he even has a slight wrestling advantage here. Will he use it? Probably not, but he does have 5 submissions. Brown does have 5 submissions on his record. Trinaldo has been submitted before. Kevin Lee back in 2017, but Trinaldo is very tough to finish. I don't see Brown getting a finish on the feet, so I lean the decision on Brown at plus money, but I expect Brown to win this fight. I like Brown, and Brown may make my client card this weekend. Barcelos, minus 220 versus Jones, plus 180. Barcelos, seems to be starting to fade a little bit, 35, 36. He does have back-to-back losses. But I think it's a fairly decent spot to get back on track versus Jones. More of a one-dimensional guy, hits hard, looks for that finish. But Barcelos, very tough to finish, right? Barcelos won 9 in a row before those back-to-back losses versus Valev and Victor Henry. Not no big names, but tough guys. Tough guys. Jones also coming into this fight on back-to-back losses. There's a guy who needs just to find a power shot, big right hand to win fights, in my opinion. Does have a sneaky good grappling game, but both guys are good grapplers, so I don't see any submissions really coming into play here. Barcelos, like I said, he's never been KO'd in his career, and I don't think Jones is going to finish him. So if you don't think Jones is going to finish him, then you take Barcelos, right? Don't love the price at minus 220. This is definitely not going to make my client card due to that price, but I do lean here with Barcelos. I do think he has the durability. I do think he can avoid the big shot of Jones, and I do think he wins this fight. His last 4 to 5 fights have been a decision, so if I had to play an outcome here, it would be Barcelos by decision. But again, the price kind of sucks. If you can get the decision at a good price, I would look that way. Yusuf, minus 900 versus Shaniz, plus 600. Short notice fight for Shaniz, making his UFC debut. Don't know too much about the guy to look at him. 3 finishes in a row, but his lower level promotions. He will want to try to make this fight dirty and look to finish it early, in my opinion. The price is wild for a guy who I don't think deserves it. I don't think he deserves minus 900. I like him, but he should be maybe minus 400 or so. Right? US has a few decent wins over Alex Correas, touchy-feely. But when he stepped up competition, Aaron Lanley, he got rocked a few times in that fight and lost by decision. I expect Yusuf to win this fight. Don't get me wrong. I don't know a ton about Shanaz. However, he can finish fights. He likes to bang. He could make the fight ugly. But, I can't get to the guy, even though the price is great. Yusuf gets done in this fight. I do think it probably won't go 3 rounds either. A lot of people are high on Yusuf. I get it. He does have the tools, but his ring IQ could be questioned at times, and minus 900 is just not a bettable fight here. Couple more fights here, guys. Castanelli minus 200 versus Santos plus 170. Sexy Mexi is Castaneda's nickname. After hearing that, not too many people may want to bet on him or fade him because of that. However, this guy's a pretty good fighter with a couple nice wins on a 2-fight win streak. He finished Wineland in the first round, a vet, and Miles John, who's a good fighter with experience, he was able to submit him in the 3rd round, and that tells me, a guy that's durable. He's always dangerous throughout the fight, and, a guy that's fairly well-rounded, and Castanel is. I do think he has a wrestling advantage here over Santos. I do think he can get this fight down to the ground. I do like him here in this spot. The minus 200, tough Santos can be dangerous at time. I don't love the price here, but I do like the durability and toughness from Castaneda. And, the price isn't crazy. If you're going to put in a 2-fight parlay or something, I wouldn't call you crazy. Is it going to make my client card? Not as of yet. I'll watch the weigh-ins, but I do like him. I do think he can find a win here. I don't like the volume numbers with Santos, if you look at it here. And Castaneda does have a nice reach advantage here. So, yeah, I do think you should find a way to get this job done here. Fight that's opening up the main card could be a good fight, guys. I'm excited for it. Maybe we'll see a fun kickboxing fight, unless Davis decides to get this one to the ground, which probably be easier path. But, Davis minus 175 versus Borishev plus 150. Sneaky good fight. Open up the main card. Could be fight of the night, guys. A lot of people talk high about Davis over the years, right? After opening up in the UFC career with a loss to Gilbert Burns, tough way to start. He's won 2 in a row. Only issue with Davis, he gets hurt and he doesn't fight a lot, right? He's fought 3 times since 2019. Didn't fight at all in 2020, and this will be his first fight of the year. And the year's almost over. That always scares me. Especially with a minus 175 favorite. You know, Borshev got dominated on the ground in his last fight versus Dikasi. And that's how you beat Borshev. His takedown defense is terrible. He cannot wrestle, but he's a very good striker and one of the better kickboxers in this division, guys. If this fight decides to stand and be a kickboxing fight, it's going to be one hell of a fight. It's going to be super close. But if Davis decides, maybe this guy's a little too dangerous on the feet, just takes him down at will, which I could expect he could do, he'll just win that fight like that. But, Davis, kind of a hothead guy, he probably wants to make the fight fun. He could decide to stand and bang. And if it's a stand and bang fight, it's a 50-50 fight, in my opinion. I think Davis mixes it up, though. I think he's smart in there. It's not going to make my betting card do the time off. Unsure on Davis's ring IQ. If he decides to bring it down and or he just wants to make an entertaining fight. But yeah, I'll take Davis here as for the video purposes, but it's not going to make my client card. That will do it, guys. That will do another UFC video in the books. Not a great card. Don't love a ton, to be honest. I'll tell you guys, when I really like a play or not. Don't love anything, to be honest, on this card. Maybe Randy Brown is probably the most I like on the main card here, at least. He'll probably make my client card. Look out for my NFL video tomorrow, guys. It drops tomorrow in the evening time. And like I always say, guys, bet smart and know your limits. Take care. Enjoy the card.